Hello, 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 and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? So, I actually have had this question asked by a few concerned parents regarding their children's exposure to juuling. So for both of juuling or smoking electronic cigarettes is something that's been around, I would say, for about 3 or 4 years. And the companies, this particular company, Juul, is really parents. If you find a box like this in your house, your kids are smoking Juuls. Your kids are smoking electronic cigarettes, which are dangerous and addicting. I'm going to tell you the story of my kids and when I found out that they were juuling and smoking electronic cigarettes. So if you find this box or a box similar to this, chances are your kids are smoking Juuls. If you find these little pod thingies, this is actually where the liquid pod oil, whatever that goes inside of the Juul. I don't have a Juul to show you. Maybe I'll put up a picture in the video, but I don't have one to show you. But I just have this box. These are the pods that they purchased. I think this is about $20. So the manufacturers of these pods and of these Juuls have made it very affordable for teenagers and even preteens. And our teenagers and our preteens are addicted to Juuls and smoking these electronic cigarettes. So I consider myself a parent that's on top of these kids. I got 3 teenagers. I figured I knew what was up with them. I knew what was going on with them. I stayed in their business. I roam through they shit when they not home. No cap. I know how to talk like them. I figured I was, how they gonna get something past me? It's not gonna happen. Well, about 3 or 4, I'm gonna say like 2 or 3 years ago, we were in the minivan going on a trip. It was my daughter. At this point today, 2 of my kids are 20. One is 18. At this time, they were teenagers. They were still in high school about 3 years ago. Anyway, so we were in the minivan. I'm driving. There, it's a 3 rows of seating. They're in the minivan with me. Okay, my daughter's boyfriend was also with us on this day trip. So they're talking and laughing, and we talk and laugh and blah, blah, blah. The boyfriend says to me, like dead ass serious, he was like, "Wow, you let your kids smoke?" And I looked at him like, who is this little boy talking to? I'm like, "Excuse you, little boy?" So I didn't even have to, I knew whatever he was talking about, it was true. Because all my kids' face was like, my oldest son looked at my daughter like, "Yo, like, get your mans. Like, what is he doing? He's like dry snitching. Like, he's telling on us." I'm like, "What are you talking about? My kids don't smoke." He was like, "They're smoking right now." No cap again. I was like, yo, the whole time we were riding the car, I could have sworn I saw smoke. I'm thinking, damn, is the van smoking? You know me. I'm like, well, we got somewhere to go. I'll figure it out if the van is smoking when I get there. But no, the van is not smoking. These kids were smoking in the car. I look at my kids. I'm like, what are y'all smoking? What? I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. So I'm like, I'm allergic to weed. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. So I knew it wasn't that. But I had no clue that my kids were smoking Juuls, that they were juuling. No clue. So then the boyfriend proceeds to tell me, because he's a square, which good, great. He didn't smoke, even though later I found out he did smoke, but whatever. He was like, yeah, I've been trying to get my girlfriend, my daughter, to stop because she's addicted. And I'm like, now I'm driving, but I'm like, I'm on the road like, oh, these mother fathers. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I still was like shook. I couldn't believe it. So I was like, what? Y'all smoke? Finally, my oldest son, the one who think he got all the balls, was like, yeah, Mom. And he was sitting right next to me, mind you, blowing it out the window. He was like, Mom, yeah, we smoke. But at that time, 3 years ago, there was not a whole lot of information about the dangers of juuling at that point. And so my response to that, now that I look back on it, was not as strict as it should have been, right? I wish I could redo that day, because I would have pulled that car to the side. I would have snatched every one of their jewels. I would have stomped them in the ground and drove off. I didn't do that, not only because in my head I didn't have a lot of information about juuling. At that point, I thought it wasn't as dangerous. Whatever. Get us to today. Several years later, the unfortunate thing is that all my kids are addicted to juuling. They all jewel. Like, I just went into my daughter's room and found this and all this. Now, her jewel is probably with her. And they are actually, like, my daughter is like, I know I'm addicted to juuling, and I want to stop. 2 of my kids are asthmatic. So, and with COVID, I was just watching something on TV regarding juuling and electronic cigarettes and how it's affecting teenagers during this time of COVID, especially if they have pre-existing asthma or like any kind of lung disease. It is killing our kids. This product contains nicotine, highly addicting. So where am I at as far as what's happening with my kids? So because I let it slide, right? I admit that I really let it slide. I'm thinking, oh, it's not addictive, it's not that bad. As a teenager, I would smoke cigarettes occasionally. Now, I don't know. I feel like it's, as far as in my household, I'm really, this video to me is a warning to those parents who have preteens. If you already have a teenager, it's probably too late, girl and guys. Too late as far as they probably already have experienced juuling. They're juuling in school. I mean, it got even worse. My youngest son was suspended because he got caught in school. No, his jewel fell out in front of the resource officer. Fell out his pocket. He in the back. Yes, it did. His jewel fell out and in front of the resource officer. I think the principal was there too. Dummy. So at that point, I knew they was addicted, because now you're doing risky behavior to even smoke the jewels. Where am I at with my kids as far as juuling? Don't jewel in my house, even though we can see that that's probably still happening. Don't jewel around me. And if you want to stop juuling, then you're going to need to go to a smoking cessation class to like get weaned off the nicotine. Like, you literally are going to have to go, like people get weaned off of cigarettes and nicotine. In order to get my kids off of this, they're going to need to go and be de-jeweled or de-smoked or de-nicotined or whatever. That it's a concern. It really is a concern. But they're 20 now, and the other one's going to be 19. I'm not okay with this. This is not good for anybody's child or an adult, but especially kids. Kids are still developing. And the companies that are promoting this shit to our kids, they need to be held accountable. The same way the cigarette industry was held accountable for killing millions of people, they need to be held accountable. But anyway, I'm going to end this video right here. Please like, subscribe, send me your comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you.